Dens invaginatus or dens indentae, which is also called tooth within a tooth, is a developmental anomaly resulting from the invagination of the enamel organ into the dental papilla during odontogenesis. You can appreciate it here. The maxillary lateral incisors. There is a groove-shaped structure which is due to the infolding or invagination of enamel organ. The prevalence maxillary lateral incisors are the most commonly affected by density dentae, followed by the maxillary central incisors. There is an increased risk of caries or pulpitis. Caries are more susceptible because you can see there is a groove formation in which food can impact and result in the caries. The dense indentae, usually the condition is presented in two forms: the coronal and the radicular. The coronal portion is more common. As we said, it may be radicular or coronal. I actually simplified it. If it in the coronal portion, there are 3 degrees. If it involves only the crown portion, it is the first. If in the second, it is below the CHA, and in the third, it extends into through the root. Clinical forms. Clinically, it may be mild, moderate, or extreme. In the mild, there is invagination or lingual pit area. In moderate, there is enamel or dental pulp chamber involvement, which appear as a tooth within a tooth. And in the extreme, it extends into the root and like a dilated odontom. As I shared the simplified version of classification with you, but you can also study the Euler's classification from here. I will. It's the same thing, but you can study it individually for the time purpose. This is Euler's classification types. You can stop it here. So how the tooth within a tooth or dense indente is managed? There is minor case and the more serious case. In minor case, sealing the crevice with composite resin or sealant may all that's required. In more serious case, if the pulp has been affected, dentist recommends root canal treatment. Dense evaginatus, or also called as the tooth outside the tooth, it is an uncommon development anomaly of the human dentition characterized by presence of tubercle on the occlusal surface of mandibular premolars or lingual surface of the anterior teeth. Premolars are more likely to be affected than any other tooth. You can appreciate it here. There is a extra bump or cusp in the center between the buccal and the lingual cusp. Extra cusp contain vital pulp horn, so cutting can result in the pulp exposure. Race. It is more frequently in the Asian countries, including the Chinese, Malay, Thai, Japanese, Filipino, and Indian population. And the treatment is, of course, RCT is the treatment of choice if the pulp is involved. Tarodontism. When the crown is enlarged at the expense of the root, also known as the bull teeth. So tarodontism, remember it as a bull teeth. There is a crown is very much enlarged, but the root is a shorter root. You can see the shorter root. It is more common in the permanent molar teeth. Permanent molar teeth. Remember, what are the causes? The cause is actually the failure of hertic epithelial root sheet to invaginate proper horizontal level. So at the proper horizontal level, it does not invaginate, resulting in a problem disease associated. Remember this mnemonic KDA. It is from the K Klinefelter syndrome, from the D Down syndrome, from the A amelogenesis imperfecta type 4, and it is associated with the 30% people having hypodontia. Remember. The radiographic characteristics of tarodontism include lack of pulp chamber constriction at the cemento-enamel junction, an enlarged pulp chamber that appears rectangular in shape, as you saw, and displacement of the pulp chamber floor towards the root apex, shortening the root. And now you can see there is lack of cervical chamber constrictions as the first point, and the second point we have studied that is enlarged pulp chamber, due to which it appears rectangular in shape. You can see, and lastly you can see there is displacement of pulp chamber floor towards the root apex. Abnormalities in the number may be anodontia or supernumerary teeth. Anodontia is a rare genetic disorder characterized by congenital absence of all primary or permanent teeth. In a hypodontia means there is decreased in the number of teeth, but in anodontia there is complete absence of the teeth. and the genes involved in these are MSX1 gene. Let me write it here: MSX1 gene and PAX9 gene. There may be complete anodontia or incomplete anodontia or partial anodontia. Complete anodontia, there is a failure of development of tooth germ. There is absence of all the teeth, primary and permanent teeth. All the teeth are absent. It is rare and it is associated with ectodermal dysplasia. We will study it in the next lecture. And due to high radiation. In partial endodontia, some specific teeth are mostly absent. In the permanent teeth, third molar is mostly absent, followed by the maxillary lateral incisor and mandibular premolar. In the primary teeth, maxillary lateral incisor is the most common, and the mandibular first molar and lateral incisor are absent. Other types of endodontia is the true endodontia, pseudo-endodontia, false endodontia. What are the syndromes associated with the endodontia? There you can remember from the mnemonic human RBC, from the H. hyalinosis cutis mycosi, Hallerman Starift syndrome. From H there is two, Riga syndrome, from the B Book syndrome, and from the C chondroectodermal dysplasia. Supernumerary teeth. Now, it is also called as the hyperdontia, the condition of having supernumerary teeth or teeth that appears in addition to the regular number of teeth, 32 in average. So, if there is increase in the teeth from 32 in numbers, which are similar in structure to the normal teeth, but they exceed the normal number of teeth, this is known as the supernumerary teeth. And males are most commonly affected compared to the females. Supernumerary teeth can be classified on the basis of location, morphology, orientation, and position. On the basis of location, it is mesodense, paramolar. We will discuss it individually. Now, first discuss morphology. On the morphological basis, there is conical, tuberculate, supplemental, odontome. Let's study conical. Conical, it is cone shaped. You can see it is a peg shaped or cone shaped, usually present as mesodense. Tuberculate has one or more cusps. You can see, you can appreciate it here. Have one or more cusps. It is barrel shaped, paired, and located palatal to the central incisor. Supplemental have normal tooth shape and size. Supplemental have normal shape and size. Most common supplemental tooth is permanent lateral incisor. Odontome we will study in the future. Odontome Odontome of two types, complex or compound odontome, we will study later. Classification on the basis of location, we studied the mesiodense, paramolar, distomolar, and parapremolar. Classification on the basis of location, maybe we classified it as mesiodense, paramolar, distomolar, parapremolar. Let's discuss it individually. The mesiodense is actually located in the maxillary anterior incisor region. This is one incisor, this is another, and there is small cone-shaped structure mesodense. An accessory fourth molar is called a distomolar. Remember, distomolar is accessory fourth molar, and paramolar, a posterior supernumerary teeth located lingually or buccally. So now we have completed half chapter of our pathology. We will complete it in next part. Thanks for watching and keep in the touch. Keep sharing our videos. Allah Hafiz. Take care.